Friends, gooners, other disappointed people. We are here again to mourn a defeat at Anfield. It's not good. We're not going to try to brush this over. Hello, how are we all? Welcome to ABW Live. It's the good old days are back. The good old days are back. How are we all? We all good? There are an awful lot of you in this chat box. How are we? Let's have a see who's in here. Sorry, this is Archie's there, Simon is there, Kelly Mayer's there. Oh, K-Man 1867 was first, and 235 100. J Rob, Loki 73. Oh, there's an awful lot of happy people in this box. How are we all? You okay? Daz 316 is there. Oh, honestly, do you know what? When I'm doing this, YouTube's trying to get me to buy crap. No, bugger off. Hello, my lovely people. Yeah, look, let's get into this. It wasn't fun, and we're just gonna go there. Aryan Hidari, I'm gonna answer your question straight away. John Welsh has a crystal ball. He knew what was going to happen, and he's out with his mates enjoying. And the cheeky bugger last week had the cheek to say he hadn't had a day off over Christmas, when me and Dave gave him a day off because he had to work. The shame of it. Shame of it. In any case, guys, today I'm joined by two wonderful panelists. First and foremost, it's the boy wonder from down under in the colonies. It's Dom. Say hello, Dom.
Hello, Dom. We have to have words, Jace. I've been hoodwinked. You promised me that this was going to be a post-Tottenham Watford episode, and now we've got to come on here and talk about the Arsenal. I'd rather talk about that game, to be honest.
Well, it's Wolves first of all, and we could rename ourselves a Steve Bull Wonderland, couldn't we? You know, that would be the way. That would be the way. Oh God, I know it's going to be painful, isn't it, pal? Going to be painful.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I was watching them after about 5 minutes of the game. I thought, I've got to do a radio show after this.
I know. Hey, it's not the first time we felt like that, is it? It's not the first time.
Why didn't you put Carpenter and not turn up?
I thought I just didn't have a good enough excuse.
Nor did it.
Oh, Jesus. And surprise, surprise, here's the other guest. He is Bronson Mark II. It's Danny, the GFP. Say hello, Danny.
Hello, Danny, and I've got a bowl of sausages, mushrooms, and mashed potato that I'll be eating during the show. Get on with it. My beard fell off when we lost. Look at all those chins.
Nice. Nice. And nice to see no lights in your beard today.
They are actually here, so I could maybe put them on, and then we could just pretend I could hold them there like that. Would that work? No. Well, I put them in the sausages. That'd be more entertaining than shit we just watched, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Let's be honest. It wasn't fun. In any case, right. Let's get straight into it. Dom, I'm coming to you first. Lineups. There's been the Ozil debacle, which, well, you know, let's be honest. That's been a run. That's been so much entertainment on Twitter, watching people go at each other. There was no Lacazette. Ramsey was in. Shocker. I've got to be honest here, I was shocked at that. And Maitland-Niles starting on the right-hand side. What were your thoughts on the lineup, pal?
So we'll start at the back, going back to the back three. Don't like seeing Lichtsteiner anywhere back there because I think that he's good for the banter. He likes winding people up, which is fun. But other than that, I don't think he's bringing a whole lot to the defence. Maitland-Niles, I was happy to see him get a run at the right wing back spot, though.
Well, I thought we were playing 4-3-3, mate. I've got to be honest.
Really?
He was Maitland-Niles was way up the park. We were playing 4 at the back. Certainly we were. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got to be honest. I said it looked as if actually it looked like 4-4-2 or 4-4-1-1 as Beglin said. You know. That was a flat back 4 in my eyes. I mean, I may be wrong, but you know, this is the thing. It's one of those things where I think he's gone different again today, and you know,
there's some weird shit going on there because, like I said, you know, In terms of the formation anyway back there, it looked as if that they were going the back three route with Kolasinac and Maitland-Niles as the width. I liked seeing Ramsey in there though, because I don't think without Ozil we have any creativity between our midfield and our attack, and I think that's causing a lot of issues. Even today, the Iwobi's just not developed enough yet to be consistently causing issues for defenders, is he? Like we've spoken about this a bunch of times before. There's so much to get into today. I don't really know where to start, but looking on paper, I guess it was kind of the best of what we had available, to be honest. Can't really. It wasn't too much. I looked at the lineup and thought, okay, why has he done this instead of this? The one thing I would have rather have seen Lacazette play instead of Aubameyang, because Lacazette can drop in and be quite useful in terms of ball retention, link-up play, those kinds of things, whereas Aubameyang, as we have seen, likes to get on the end of passes a little bit more and finish off moves. And today, I think, was always going to be a bit of a struggle just to get past the halfway line, to be honest, with the press that Liverpool like to do at home. So that was probably the only one, though. What about you?
I was surprised he chose Ramsey. I mean, he's hardly played the guy recently, so what he's expecting, I don't know. You've got a change of formation going up there. We've got, our back four is, it's not great, is it? Let's be honest, okay? And you can talk about injuries, etc., but the lack of strength and depth we have back there is a real worry. And to see it will be a Maitland-Niles playing a new position. I like Maitland-Niles a lot. We've got a lot of time for him. It's a big ask for him to put him there, going up to Anfield. It will be, look, I don't think you had any other option unless you played Aubameyang on that side and started Lacazette. But, I agree with Lacazette. He holds ball up. He can keep the pressure off. You get more into play from Lacazette than you do from Aubameyang. So, yeah, I was surprised by the lineups. Dan, early pressure from Liverpool. They were at it from the off, weren't they? Leno was forced into a mistake to put it out for a throw-in. Mane skinned Torreira early, But then there was an incident of Mane on Lichtsteiner where he's actually grabbed him by the throat. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't violent. It wasn't it wasn't sort of overly aggressive, but he did make the play. And whether Michael Oliver saw that or not, I don't know. But no action taken. What were your thoughts on the first 5 minutes?
Well, I was quite happy about the lineup, like you were saying about young Ashley Maitland-Niles. It's brilliant for him finally to be playing in his best position, the position that he played when he was on loan at Ipswich, where he had a really good season, and the position that he's made his name coming through the Arsenal under 18s and under 21s as they were back then. And I've been saying for ages that's his position, playing wide right. And he's like a much younger Iwobi that he just needs to be used right, moulded right, and that's the position we play him in. And he showed with that with the goal. But as for the strangling, I didn't see it because we all know it's the Scouse Mafia that run the TV. And they were all going squealing, giving it calm down. I mean, you got all these other like Michael Owen and Steve McManaman and all these other muppets there, and so I didn't see the replay of it. So I didn't see the actual incident itself. I think I was I don't know what I was doing. No, I was definitely watching I think Sian was sorting out of her bedroom and she kept coming in and asking me questions about stuff. So it may have happened when she was holding me up a little sheep that is charged by solar panels. That really is the thing that she got. So I didn't see it.
Chat box. This is what you get from ABW. This is what you get.
This is content you subscribe for, right there. Wow, that was brilliant, Danny.
Oh, where's John Welsh when he need him?
I should have strangled
John Welsh would have turned around and said that it was Lichtsteiner's fault and Mane. Sorry,
Nothing in it. No, but I guess by the letter of the law, it's a red card. Yeah,
it's a red card.
You can't really argue too much with that one, other than Was it soft? Of course. Was it stupid? Yes, but you can't do it.
Yeah, and this is the thing. There'll be no action taken on it, you know. And don't get me wrong, man. Look, he's hardly strangled him. Do you know what I mean? But you're not allowed to raise your
There's
hands.
nothing in it. You just can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Dom, I'm going to stick with you because Danny hasn't watched the game, but the sounds of things. I love this show.
They replayed it on BT Sport because I doubt either of you two were watching it on BT Sport. I was. So
I was.
Did they replay it and go, "Oh, that was
Yeah.
out of order"?
No, Beglin made excuses as usual because that's who Beglin is. To be fair, he used to play for Liverpool. That's the way it is, you know. But he made excuses for it. Yeah, he did say he was a lucky boy, but
I'm going to be honest, though, Jace. Even with 10 men, they would have probably thumped us. You know, it's clutching at straws to spend more than about 30 seconds on that incident.
No. Hey, we've covered it now. Real. Yeah, no. I can't argue that point. Dom, staying with you, the Maitland-Niles goal. We turn the ball over high up the pitch. A little bit of interplay. Iwobi puts a great cross in, and Maitland-Niles, that's a decent finish, isn't it? It looked good.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not as easy a finish as what he made it look. The timing with the ball kind of skipping up the way it does, and it skips across the turf as well if it's a bit greasy. So very well timed run. And, you know, on one end, we've given Iwobi, including myself, a bit of stick for his decision making and his final ball because he does such brilliant work at the edge of the area so often, dribbles around somebody, gets a little bit of space, does a little wiggle, has beautiful feet, and then messes up the pass or just passes to the wrong person or just makes the wrong decision. But that one he got absolutely spot on, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And you've got to give him credit, you know. Like I say, like you said out there already, you know, it's his decision-making, you know, or lack of it at times that we criticise all too often. And on this occasion, he was on the money, and it was lovely to see.
Do you think he can get to a level where he's undroppable? Does that make sense? I'm not going to say will he be a world-class player, but do you think he can get to the level where you can't not have him in the starting lineup?
Not unless he sorts his confidence and decision making out. I've got to be honest here. I think he's got a load of talent, and that's why he frustrates me because those feet, you know, he's got a beautiful pair of feet, okay, but his movement off the ball I find poor, and he needs to work on that. I think all too often, you know, he doesn't look for space. It's almost robotic, the runs he kind of makes, and I think his decision making on the ball, he's way off. You know, if he works on it and, you know, commits early and plays with a bit more ambition, maybe, but I genuinely don't see it at the moment. He's got 120 odd games for the Arsenal. Is it? It's around there. Dan, how many games has he got for the Arsenal?
Iwobi?
Yeah.
About 126.
Right. So, you know, he's got 126 games under his belt. He's still a young man, but
a lot of experience. He's not proving like we'd like, is he?
No, he's nowhere near developed as he should.
I feel like he is better this year than he was last season, though. I feel like
he's shown bits of it, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like this, okay? He has improved in a number of games, and he had a 3 or 4 game spell where all of a sudden everybody's shouting the odds of, yeah, I told you Iwobi would be great, and this, that, and the other, and then it's back to last season's form, okay? You've got to start showing some consistency.
Well, here's a counter argument to that, Jace. Playing devil's advocate, when you're not playing Ramsey and Ozil like Emery isn't, that's a lot to put on a young guy like that because essentially he's almost our only creative outlet up there.
Look, I agree with you.
An awful lot.
Hey, I agree with you to a certain extent, okay? But if you want to play in the Premier League, you know, you're playing for the manager. You have no control over the team he picks. You just have to deliver. And some of the efforts he's messed up this season, or, you know, some of the positions he's got himself into, which are really good, and then he's wasted. That's not Emery's fault. That's not Ozil's fault. That's not anybody else's fault. That's down to his decision making. You know, you have to take some responsibility along the line. Look, I hope he sorts it out. I hope because that ball he played across the goal today, you see a bit more of that from him. His confidence will increase and he will become a better player. It should grow naturally, but he needs to whip it in early, you know? So it's one of those things, okay? You know, wait and see. Dan, you know, what was it? Not even 2 minutes later, they equalise. Firmino scores. There's a mix-up in defence. We don't clear the ball. Lichtsteiner kicks it into Mustafi. And to be fair to Firmino, he's kept on going and grabs the equaliser. That was disappointing, wasn't it?
It was with, did you see the little donation there from Ola?
No, where? Sorry, I missed it.
Black Scorpion. Friend of the pod.
Oh, Black Scorpion, Ola. Sorry, pal. With 199 to annoy Danny. I love this. And Ola says, don't let the game get us down. We'll be back.
Yeah,
okay.
I want to make clear that we weren't having a go at Iwobi. For me, Iwobi was our best of a bad bunch tonight, and Iwobi has got everything that I think in his, as the Americans would say, everything in his locker to be a really good player. And he has, like Don was saying, he has shown some really good signs this season of becoming a better player. He's after the season he had last season, he's moved. His positioning is better. He's not knackered all the time like Steve's favourite. If he'd been knackered after 60 minutes, that seems to have gone. So I've still got plenty of time for Iwobi. But yeah, going back. Go on.
Look, we're not knocking him, you know. We're just being honest and realistic about where he's at.
I think it's just highlighted because we don't have the Ramsey and Ozil creative stuff happening up top. So when he gets the ball in those positions and it doesn't turn into something, straight away, it's highlighted that little bit more. I do think that with an actual winger running around helping out, it would help open up more space. You know, those runs would be easier to find. The Lacazettes and the Aubameyangs would be able to get in and around different runs, different areas. I just think that attacking-wise, we're so one-dimensional at the moment because we're so limited with the personnel that we have.
Well, we'll come on to that later. Let's go back to the goal. Dan, I want to talk about Firmino's equaliser because it was a joke.
Our goal, I loved Ashley Maitland-Niles' celebration. That was a thing of beauty, and we can expect more of that the more we play him. So my notes from that goal, I went back. I was saying to these two people before the show started, I went back on the Twitters and found people who had done clips of the show, and I watched the goals. I watched them over and over again. So I put just after we scored, BT were doing a little bit of prick teasing on us. I said, when Arsenal were ahead in the Premier League this season, 1-11, drawn 3, lost 0. I thought, that's it, bang on, we're going to win this game. It's all over. No. 13th minute, Firmino, yet again another Arsenal fuck up. Unbelievable. Xhaka slides in and takes the ball off their player. Well, then we go to clear it, and it bounces off one of ours and then into his pathway, and he scores. And
Lichtsteiner kicked it straight into Mustafi, and then it just dropped at Firmino's feet. It was one of those...
Yeah. Just bad luck. It was almost, we had this, didn't we? We've had this 2 or 3 times this season already, where it's just been to me, to you, to me. Oh, who's doing what? Oh, but then it's a bit of bad luck, a bit of they're not all working as a team, and just Liverpool poached that goal. I mean, so many, like we said in the last time this happened, 6 things needed to happen for this goal to happen, and the same thing today. So many mistakes, so many bits of bad luck, and so just immediately on the ball by Firmino, who hasn't scored a goal all season. I think. But
Dan, ultimately, I get what you're saying, okay, but nobody takes responsibility. Lichtsteiner could have skied that, okay. Do you know what I mean? Somebody needs to take responsibility there, and we don't. Right. And that's the issue.
I think Lichtsteiner does himself no favours because I don't think there's any Arsenal fans that want him to see play the game. There was quite a few people that said they wanted Jenkinson to play today. I think Lichtsteiner might not be seen as much as he has been seen even during this defensive crisis, because I don't think Jenkinson would fuck up as often as he does, and Jenkinson's got a little bit of pace, and he's used to playing at centre-back a little bit.
Well, look, ultimately, okay, he's had the opportunity to play Jenkinson, even though, let's be honest, Lichtsteiner's had a tough time. Our recent run of form has not been stellar. It's been bloody awful, and he still hasn't gone to him. So, you know, that's a choice he's making there. Petito 100 piles in with a $5 donation. Thank you, Petito. You're always a gentleman. And he says, Arsenal today have caused people all around the world to relapse today. I have never smoked a day in my life, but I need a cigarette. You and me both, pal. You and me both. It wasn't pretty. Dom, well, look, not even 90 seconds later, they go ahead with a second. Firmino again. Now, to be fair to Firmino on this occasion, whereas the first goal he scores, he doesn't give up. On this occasion, he's got some dazzling feet, but Mustafi first, then Socrates, they have to do better, don't they? It's,
oh yeah,
it's woeful. Torreira giving the ball away in a stupid position.
Yeah.
Not doing the job.
I actually had that sort of down in my notes as well, that the first half especially was I think, and again, I love Torreira. I've been calling out for a player like that for the last 10 years. So don't think that what I'm about to say is a reflection on what I think of him as a player, but his first half was atrocious. He really didn't do much of anything in that first half other than give the ball away, and he was largely ineffective. I know Mane span him a couple of times and ran away from him quite easily, and it was a little bit un-Torreira-esque performance that first half. But again, he had a lot of friends, didn't he? It wasn't like he was the only one, but he just seemed to make a lot of individual errors that I haven't really seen him make so far this season. So that was a little disappointing, because I think when you're playing a team like Liverpool, you need those types of players to really step up and play big games, which I think he has in some others, but unfortunately not today. And as you said, you turn one mistake into two, into three, and that generally leads to a goal. If they're in succession like that, that's how you concede goals. And gave the ball away. Mustafi and Socrates both, I kind of get that they didn't want to lunge in too much, but they really didn't do anything. And a good finish. So I don't know. Like, for me, I wasn't surprised. That's the thing, Jace. We're not making it difficult to score for any team. It doesn't matter if they're Liverpool or if they're Brighton and Hove. It's so easy to get into those positions, and the players seem to have all of this time and space to look around and pick little intricate passes through our defenders. Today is kind of and I'll get to this later, but I feel like it's a reality check in terms of where we're at. Like, to me, watching today, that's exactly where we're at right now. Today wasn't a one-off where, holy moly, where did that come from? It was, to me, a culmination of coming up against currently the best team in the country. The table doesn't lie. They haven't lost a game all season, and us having a few defensive injuries, so having to play people out of position, etc. But a lack of structure, a lack of system, which is what I thought Emery would have brought in. It's one thing that I'm a little confused about at the moment, is I don't really understand what it is we're trying to do, because we didn't press.
Look, we will speak about it then in the questions part, okay? Because there are things that we want to discuss here, but we've only had 2.5 good performances all season, okay? A lot of the time we flattered to deceive. People have, no offense, overhyped Torreira's performances. He's been good. He's not been a world beater. People calling him the best DM in the league. Stop talking nonsense. Do you know what I mean?
He has been very good, and he's been very important to what we've done.
He's been good, but our performances have been poor. But again, we overhype things, and when it comes crashing down like this, again, we overreact to it, but it's one of those things. It's human nature. Arian Hidari is piled in with a $2 donation. Arian, I'm a bit disappointed it wasn't $1.99 to annoy Danny, but he says, does Chris have any centre backs we can borrow? Arian, I've got to be honest with you. Chris Carpenter would know a centre back if it hit him in the face. This is the guy who criticised Van Dijk to Liverpool. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Dig at the pirate early doors. So, Dan, we go on, okay? Mustafi, he's offside for a chance from a free kick. Wonderful ball in by Torreira. But he doesn't, manage the offside trap. And then the Mane goal. And it, my world is falling in around my ears at this time. It's just absolutely. Sorry. Before we carry on, Jove82's in the box. Happy birthday, bro! It's Jove82's birthday. Chat box, give him some love now, please. It's his birthday. Happy birthday, Joe. Jonas, sorry. The Mane goal happens. We clear a corner. We gave away the corner stupidly. We clear the corner. A long ball from Robertson. Salah puts a cross in. Nobody's on Mane. Socrates and Mustafi are absolutely nowhere. Our midfield is nowhere. Nobody's dropping down. Nobody's really, Robertson has hit the ball a hell of a way, to be fair to him. But it was a shambles at this point, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a magnificent ball. I mean, first of all, the best thing about that was our clearance from the corner. That's what you like to see. Don't like playing it out of defence. Get it, hoof it up the pitch. But we hoofed it up the pitch, and they went, we're hoofing it back down again. And that ball from their right back, was it Robertson, you said? From him all the way down, half the length of the pitch, pinpoint to Salah. You're thinking, well, my God, that's a magnificent pass. And then, like you said, Salah puts it across the front of the goal. And then Leno had no chance. He had no one there. But they were saying on the TV that when Lichtsteiner was there, rather than Lichtsteiner making the player, having the Salah go round the right-hand side of him, he had another player to the side of him. So he had two players to his right-hand side. And you think, well, then how can you mark both of them? You can't do that. So if you've got one directly to your right-hand side and then another one to the side of him, well, you're knackered then, aren't you? That's shit positioning from a bloke who's 35 years old and one of the best players for his country and done wonders with Juventus. So that's all in the past now. And then it comes to, I think it was Mustafi or Socrates, one of those two was in the centre of defence. And they did exactly the same thing, had two players to their side and they come back, they let them cut in on the wrong side. And so when Salah came in, he had another player to the side of him. So you meant it should have been in between the two of those players. So if that goes right, you go right. If it goes left, you go left. But he didn't. He had two players to the left of him, and then you can't follow it. And then poor old Leno, there's nothing he could do, is there? He's thinking, well, where's the whole of my defence gone? They skim the ball quickly across the front of me. And whereas there should have been a defender there to try and clear it, or a defender there to stop the long pass when it came in, none of that stuff was there. And you got to think, poor old fucking Leno, he's been running around like a blue-arsed rat, as my mum would say. I don't even know what it means. That's what it is.
It was an absolute shambles, mate. If I come to you, Dom...
How's he meant to cope with stuff like that?
He's not, mate. I'm not being funny. The defence all season has not helped out the goalkeepers at all. We're going to talk about it later on, okay? Because there's been zero improvement in defence. Zero. I don't care what anybody says. Look at the goals we've let in all season. It's been a joke, it has, okay? But Adam Chamberlain, it's his birthday as well. Give Adam a bit of love, chat box. And Prayash Majumdar has knocked in with it. I'm not sure what currency that is, Prayash, so I do apologise. But it's 40 of something, and we really appreciate it. Thank you ever so much. He says, Indian rupees, we as fans should be patient with Emery. I'm not sure, Prayash. I mean, look, you've got to give him the season, no doubt, okay? But the lack of improvement in performance, the lack of improvement in defence, okay, that's his team he put out today. People can blame Arsene Wenger for as much as they want, okay? But Emery's been there 6 months now. He should have worked on the defence, and it doesn't look like he has. So he's got, you've got to give him the season, but come on. This has got to sort of, at some point, it's got to sort of change. Dom, at this point, I'm just thinking, oh my God, this is an absolute shower of shit. You've got Jacques is starting to lose his rag. Oliver, to be fair, look, I'm not going to blame the referee. We were outplayed by a better team today. But because they were on top, he gave them everything. You saw Fabinho get away with what should have been a straight yellow for the tug back, for the pulling the shirt on Ramsey, and then a really high foot. They had all the decisions because they were well on top. And we just seemed to be falling apart, didn't we?
Yeah, I think if you go back and you look at the reputation that Man United may have had with referees during Ferguson's time there, I do wonder sometimes how much of it is because of what you just said. They're the big boys on the pitch, they're the dominant team. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you've got that behind you, the referees kind of give you that little bit extra, or
I think it's a rule in every sport, mate.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you're a dominant team and you're out there and you're killing it each week, you get that little bit behind you. I don't know, but anyway, the referee for me is irrelevant for today. If we spend more than 3 minutes talking about the referee, we're kind of missing the point of the game.
We're not. It's just though, there were a couple of incidents there where I thought he's taking the mickey there. That's and
it doesn't help. It doesn't help at all. But at the end of the day, even if he gave us a few favourable decisions, we shouldn't be sat here hoping for favourable refereeing decisions. We should be sat here hoping for a better team and a better structure and better player performances.
Yeah, but we were falling apart at this point, weren't we? We were just, I don't know what the hell was going on. It was a bit of a joke.
We just didn't have an answer. That to me, in a nutshell, that game is a game that I've seen us play against lesser opponents. The difference is that Liverpool had the quality in the final third to put away some of their chances.
Yeah.
Because if you look back at some of the other games that we've played where we've snuck a draw, maybe we've had a last-minute winner, etc., I can't name them off the top of my head, but I'm sure if you go back and have a look, there's plenty where we've allowed the opposition to get really good chances. They just haven't quite had the quality to put them away. There's been a bunch of times where we've looked, even last week, where we got the draw. They could have easily been 2 or 3-0 ahead. And today what I think you saw is a team that's in form with good quality players in those final areas that were just putting away chances that we've been letting everybody get all season. Yeah. So to me, that's why it's a difficult game to analyse as a one-off, because I feel like this is a culmination of the whole season so far, where I just don't think... How do I put this? Because I don't want to go on an Ozil rant, but it sort of epitomizes to me. So, you're not playing him because you don't think he works hard enough defensively. Well, what I'm seeing week in, week out is really quite bizarre then, because it's not like I see any other player doing these defensive duties and it being difficult to get around us or to get biased. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there's something missing where the expectation versus reality is way off kilter at the moment for what he's asking his players to do. I get not playing Ramsey at the moment because of the contract situation. But he's in the top 5 assist makers in the Premier League after hardly playing any minutes. He's a very useful, valuable player that's better than most of the players we have on the pitch. And he's not playing him for whatever reason. I kind of get that, but some of the other stuff that's going on right now, it really confuses me, because, like I said, if I saw every single player pressing and I saw a systematic approach like Liverpool, where everyone's getting up the pitch and Ozil sat there in the middle of the pitch not doing it, and that's creating issues, then I'd be 100% for dropping the guy. But we conceded 5 goals today. We conceded God knows how many chances last weekend. I don't think Ozil's the problem. Put it that way. That's all I'm saying.
No, look, I agree with you, okay? We'll come to Ozil and the Ramsey situation later, okay? But, let's leave that. Let's park out for the time being. Dan, we have a bit of pressure then. Maitland-Niles puts an effort over the bar. Ramsey puts an effort over the bar. And all of a sudden, this was the icing on the cake. Oliver awards a penalty. Salah does go down easily, but what is Socrates doing? Challenging from behind in the box. It may be, we saw some stupidity from our defenders today, but it was just like, what is going on at this moment in time? It was an utter joke. And Salah just nails the penalty. I mean, what were your thoughts at this point, and how did you see it?
I thought, what the hell is he bloody playing at? It was a ball out wide to Firmino, and then he puts it through to Salah, and you think, hold on, Salah's got pace here. It's got Socrates coming up with him. There's something. This isn't going to be good. This isn't going to end well. And then once you see the replay, you realise that Socrates, 3 times he's booted him, and he's booted him, and he's gone on, carried on going, booted him again. And you're thinking, trying to get the ball between his legs, whether he's trying to take his feet out or whether he's trying to do the dark arts. Either way, 3 bloody times he's done it. Of course, it's going to be a penalty because he was eventually either going to, when he was running towards that post, you're going to go, well, what's going to happen? He's not going to run around the. Well, actually, with our defence, he could well run around the. But when it's virtually running the ball along the touchline, I think it is the touchline. Or am I using your egg chasing analogy thing?
You're using my egg chasing terminology. No, you're not.
What's it called?
It is the touch. It's the touchline in both sports.
Yeah, we've been meaning to all these years. So when you should think, if he's running the ball along that line, you've got the post there, you've got the goalie there. Don't kick him. Let alone don't kick him 3 times. And then going back to a little bit about what you two were just talking about, because I couldn't get a word in edgeways. When you set up your team, if you're going to play 2 defensive midfielders, which is basically what Torreira and Xhaka are, they're there. They're not creative midfielders. They're not a Ramsey or an Ozil or any of that lot. So you would think if you're playing those 2 there with 4 defenders, you're going out there not to concede goals. And then like Marble Hall's TV just put in the chat box, we've let Burnley score a goal. Burnley couldn't score a goal to save their life. So if we're going out there and we are basically playing with 6 defensive players and we put a display on like this, something needs to be done. Someone needs to be taken out at half-time and shot or whatever it is to do to try and get them up for it. And then we haven't even touched on the fact that we're coming up to the bit where Socrates was doing his very best to get sent off because that was straight after the penalty. And Xhaka should have had a second yellow on the 34th minute. He's shouting and arguing with the referee. Not only is it mayhem and chaos, it's completely undisciplined. And then I'd say to Socrates, I go, why, if you know he's running towards the post, why do you keep kicking him? Where the fuck is he going to go? He's not going to. It's not as if like we've seen a goal when like Kanu, where we can chip it around the goalie and into the goal from a straight line. That's not going to happen, is it? So leave him the fuck alone, you fucking idiot. But they were all so angry. I think they had the red mist of war in their eyes, didn't they? And they were taking no prisoners.
Oh. Well, Socrates and Xhaka. I mean, Xhaka. I mean, he was a lucky boy. Oliver had the opportunity to send him off with kicking the ball away straight after the yellow. The level of stupidity from him was
outdone himself. It was like back to 2 years ago when he first signed. He was.
I thought he was harshly treated when he first came to us. Okay, I really do. Okay, but that nonsense. I mean, if he'd have picked up a second yellow, then it would have been. He don't get me wrong. There weren't many good performances today. There really weren't. Okay, there really was not. Sorry, but that level of stupidity from a guy who's a co-captain or whatever was utterly unbelievable. Right, Prayash Majumdar, is back in with a 100 rupee donation. Cheers, Prayash. I'd really appreciate that. And he says Klopp took 2.5 years to get Liverpool to where they are now. This season is all about trying to get to Champions League by hook or by crook. Got to be honest with you, Prayash, I think the only way we're getting in Champions League this season is Europa League, if we can win that. And I got to be honest with you, I was really positive beginning of the season. Not anymore, mate. Not anymore. Dom, yeah, I mean, that kind of summed it up, didn't it? That first half. From a really positive beginning, going 1-0 up, we fell apart at the seams. It was, we've been here before under Arsene, don't get me wrong, okay? But, yeah.
And that's, I want to make that clear as well. This is nothing to do with an Arsene Wenger comparison, is it? And that's the really annoying thing for us when we have to come on here and talk and you see some of the stuff that it's irrelevant. It just dismisses what we're trying to actually cover and address in terms of the current problems going on. You can point at past manager all you like, but I guarantee in 5 years' time, there's going to be people tweeting, "Oh, we're just not doing well because of Arsene's mess that he left us 10 years ago." It's just how long until you can start actually analyzing a match without having that thrown in your face? Because I just want to highlight a little comment that Lenny Braithwaite said earlier, which was Emery has practically same players as last season, can't make players any better or faster, not possible, blame him when he's got his own team. That, to me, dismisses the purpose of a manager in the first place. That's like just saying, well, all you need to do is just buy some players and let them go. Because footballers aren't complete idiots. You can instruct them to play differently and to press or not press or formations and things like that. There's a lot that the manager can do with the exact same players that were left behind. It's nothing to do with, well, he's got bad players and there's nothing that he can do until he buys a whole new squad. That's not true at all. You see so many times, time and time again, players do better and become better players under different systems and with different managers. You saw Hector Bellerin this year's really thriving under Emery's new whatever compared to last season. So it can, of course, it can happen. To dismiss any blame towards the manager, I think is dangerous. I think it's a slippery slope to go down, because then all of a sudden all we're going to be doing is just shouting at the board to be buying players every 5 seconds. It has to start with the manager. It's the same with Arsene Wenger. You live and die by your own sword as the manager. And if you're not getting it right, if you're picking the wrong players, if you're not picking Lacazette, if you're benching Ozil and Ramsey, and we're still conceding all of these goals and playing the same week in, week out, then questions need to be asked. It's a necessity.
Hey, that's his team he put out there, okay? He's been here 6 months now. I've seen no improvement defensively whatsoever. Okay, you can't keep on chopping and changing the systems all the time. Okay, and expect to get away with it. But we'll come to this in a bit more depth later. Blair Slater's just come in. I think it's Canadian dollars, $2.79. Thank you very much, Blair. And he just says 5.00. I don't know what you're on about there, mate, but we appreciate it. Thank you very much. If you'd like to clarify that, I'll say it out later, but I'm not sure about that one, mate. Dan, on to the second half. Cos replaces Mustafi. I'm not sure if Mustafi's injured. He's just come back from that thigh strain or whatever it was, or hamstring injury.
Jace.
Sorry?
I think you'll find it's because he's shit. He wasn't injured. He was just shit.
Well, to be honest with you, mate, he's not the one who gave away the fucking stupidest penalty I've ever seen.
At half-time, the Opta ratings, Socrates had a 5, Mustafi had a 5.4, and Torreira had a 5.5.
Oh, we were rocking it, weren't we? We were really rocking it.
Some of us, come on, got a better Opta rating than those. Go on, carry on. Yeah, Mustafi for Cos.
Sorry, then you had Liverpool straight at it. Mane had a chance. Socrates comes in with a good tackle in the box. Then you had a Salah effort saved by Leno. Oh, it was just
like 47th minute. Like you were saying, great tackle from Socrates. Could have been another penalty, but it wasn't. Could have gone wrong, but it showed that he can actually tackle, and is running back at goal at a player who's quicker than him. And like you just said, that Salah turned Cos and then sprinted off with the ball, and then luckily Leno saved us. So I mean that both happened in the space of a minute. So whatever was said at halftime, maybe bringing on the club captain, maybe just getting Mustafi off, stuck him in his clown car and shoved him down the A1 or whatever it is you get it is to leave Liverpool. Brought a little bit. At first, I thought, well, it's a little bit of stability, and as the half went on, you saw maybe it is a little bit more of a stability. Maybe Cos being there hasn't got the fitness and the ability and even the match fitness to go and be the old Cos. But I think he was definitely a steadying influence rather than Mustafi running around going, oh, I don't know what's going on.
Mate, I got to be honest. Look, that defends a team, okay? And I think you can't just overblame one of the individuals. That as a defensive unit, we were utterly dog shit.
Yep,
it was an embarrassment. It was.
They're all shit.
Yeah, you sounded a bit quiet there, Dan. Have a look at your thing, mate. Blair Slater's back in with another $3.99. And he just said, just figured out the slider.
I like that.
Nice, Blair. Nice. You're winning, mate.
I've turned it up a bit.
Thank you, mate. That's great. We have a Shaqiri challenge in the box on Collar. Ramsey appeals for the penalty. Kolasinac doesn't. Then you have Dom. Ramsey with a nice bit of interplay. I can't remember who it was even with. A great run into the box. And it's a cross-come shot. Aubameyang, I don't know how he manages to put it over from there. He puts the ball over the.
Luckily for him, he was offside.
Yeah, I'm going to say
Luckily,
that.
the referee raised his flag because that would have gone. If he didn't, that was going to be a meme for a very long time. Like he was going to be on Sky Sport highlights for years to come, because that was harder to do what he did than it was to just poke it into the back of the net. You know those situations where you say, I could have done better, and most of the time you're full of shit. But
Yeah.
that is one of those times where literally all you needed to do is raise your leg up in the air. I mean,
just put your studs on it. You know,
I don't understand how he actually did what he did. I mean, maybe we've got it all backwards, and Aubameyang should be playing centre back and doing those types of clearances off the line, and we could shove Mustafi and Socrates up top. Maybe that's why we've got it all wrong. We're just playing players up the wrong ends of the pitch.
Well, I did tweet when Lacazette comes on. I went, please play him at centre back for fuck's sake, because he couldn't have done any worse than any of those. But it's going to be time they're going to have to bring in some of these other players, because we can't have the same players making the same mistakes, having the same communication problems, having the same inability to defend. I mean, maybe if we just play some of the younger players that have played and served as well in the Europa League games. We've had four clean sheets in the Europa League? 5 of those games we were winning at half time. Not something that's happened in the Premier League, is it?
That is a big concern, though, isn't it? It's just playing. This is the big thing for me right now, and why I'm so confused is that he's demanding defensiveness from his attacking players, which is part and parcel of what we've heard. The situation with Ozil's at a bit of a stalemate, because Ozil's not doing the whatever it is that Emery wants him to defensively. Offensively, we know how good he is. And yet when he doesn't play, it's not like we're keeping clean sheets and we're doing any better. That's the big confusing thing to me, is that I don't really look. I agree with a lot of people where the Ozil situation is so polarizing, because even after 5 seasons, we're still sitting here deciding whether he's really good or really shit. And like some really, interesting tweets people have said.
Maggie!
Bloody hell.
I thought I'd muted. My cats are fighting outside. My cat's gone out there.
Dan,
God.
mute button.
But like with someone like a Fabregas or a Bergkamp, no one was debating whether he was world class and really important after a few seasons, because they were doing it so consistently. But you can point out the Ozil situation and say, well, he didn't have the strikers early on in his career that were making runs in behind and X, Y, and Z. But for me, it's not even about that. For me, it's about telling any player, it doesn't matter who it is, that you're not working hard defensively, so you're not getting into my team. And yet you go out and you can't keep a clean sheet with or without that player. But that player just so happens to be one of our best creative outlets. I just don't really understand the situation right now in terms of that.
Yeah, well, look, we'll come to that a bit later, okay? Because in all fairness, it's the manager's job to get the best out of the players, okay? And we've not exactly seen the best out of Ozil offensively throughout the season. We've not seen the best of him defensively, so what the hell is going on? You know what I mean? There's lots of rumours flying around at the moment that he's gone, that he's leaving the club. So we will come to it a bit later. Dan, Leno makes a save from Fabinho, a bit of brilliance from Salah there. And then all of a sudden, Kolasinac, I mean, he's in front of the bloody referee, and he decides that, we've just had given away the stupidest penalty. I'm sorry, before I go to that, Yvonne Okafor, comes in with £2 again. Thank you, Yvonne, you're a star. And she says, bin the whole defence, give Emery money. Well, it's Sven and Rahul who are going to be spending it, not Emery. So, I mean, I don't know what the hell is going to happen here. I'm really, really worried at the moment. Dan, back to that. Thank you, Yvonne. You're an absolute rock star. We love you dearly. Kolasinac, I mean, look, 99 times out of 100, these don't get given, okay? But you're at Anfield. We've seen Oliver's ease in giving Liverpool decisions throughout the game, and he clearly pushes bloody Lovren. Lovren makes a meal of it. Don't get me wrong, okay?
Do you want me to do the John Welsh?
Bear with me a second.
Kolasinac basically assaulted him. Probably broke some vertebra in his back. Lucky he wasn't straight red.
Well, I know John Welsh would come up with that. God, I miss you, John. I miss you, bro. But Dan, I mean, I don't understand how we could get more stupid than we had been throughout the game, but we do, don't we? After you finish your piece, Dan, hand it back to Dom. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay. You know, Dom, when you've been out and you've had 15 pints and you're 3 sheets to the wind and you think, fuck it, I'll have another
Couldn't
one.
drink 15 pints, Danny.
It's like when my friend Anna, when she, the Liverpool fan, when she brought me around 3 packs of, you get these toffee fees. They're like little toffee round things with a peanut in the middle of it. After eating a pack and a half of them, I thought, fuck it, I might as well eat the other pack and a half. So that's probably what Kolasinac was thinking. Oh, we're losing this game. I just don't care anymore. I'm going to barge him over. But if the referee sees it, I'll do it right in front of him. It doesn't really matter. But this whole thing reminds me a little bit about, and if people think that the Sir Alex Ferguson days were bad when Man United got decisions, you should have been around in the late 70s and the whole of the 80s when Liverpool, you'd never got anything at Liverpool. And now that you've got the media bias in which they have, with all the, whether it's BT or whether it's Sky or whether it's even some of the other channels, that they have got such a media bias on all of them. Because back in the day, when the 70s and 80s, when Liverpool were great, all those people that have grown up supporting them and playing for them, they're now at the age of in their 40s and 50s, and they're all the ones running the media on TV. So we've got an entire generation yet of them lot to bugger off, like, you know, like Graham Souness and Mark Lawrence and people like that. They were the original generation of Liverpool fans, and it's just sickening. And for him to do that, for Kolasinac to do that, just shows how just didn't care. Just thought, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to stop him. Like at the end of the first half, when the complete unprofessionalness of Xhaka and Socrates just losing it, just showing that this sort of stuff, they need to stop it, and they need to be told that if this is going to happen again, you won't be playing. And I think someone did a screen grab of Koscielny standing there by the tunnel as all this stuff was going on. I didn't see what the screen grab was referring to, but it's just ridiculous. And to do that, and how do you think he's going to get away with it? You're not going to get away with it. You're playing at bloody Anfield. We're just talking, Jace, about if people thought the Man United used to have the referee bias, how Liverpool were in the 70s and 80s. You've got nothing at Anfield, and it's heading that way again.
That's what I genuinely think what happens when you're a dominant team and you're playing really fast, attractive football. You're getting fouled a lot. There's always, you got more of the ball, you're getting tackled more, and more decisions will go your way. If you're the ones, running at teams constantly like they are, the little 50-50s are going to start piling up. I genuinely think that a referee...
It's a ruling sport.
Yeah, exactly. I think if you look at any team around the world, a professional dominant team, you might probably sort of see similar things. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying that, again, I don't think the referees are going to win Liverpool a title.
Right. I want something to say here. Sorry. Latoya is stupid.
Stupid. You know what you are?
Latoya is stupid.
Stupid girl. That's
for you, Petito. We were 69. I'm gonna come to that at the end of the game. Okay. I've seen your point there, and we'll address that, mate. Dan, there's a message for you in the Google Hangouts box. Can I get that sorted, mate? Look, teams who are aggressive, who are on top of the game, always get decisions, and there's always been a homer type of, you do get the home advantage a lot of the time, but it's, I mean, look, the stupidity we showed, we didn't give the referee any tough decisions to make. We were just ridiculous today. It was pathetic. Dom, you then see Lacazette come on for Aubameyang. You have a Ramsey effort saved. Xhaka then giving the ball away with a back pass straight to, I think it was Salah. Just not looking what he's doing again. We thankfully, I think it was Socrates who covered on that. And then you get Lacazette in their box. Klein makes a challenge, clearly catches him, but Lacazette takes a couple of steps, then goes down. It's a penalty. It should have been given, but, there goes our luck today, isn't it?
Yeah, like we keep saying, that when you're on top like that, you're going to get the rub of the green, and referees are going to make bad decisions. But, to me, the game was so far done by the time Lacazette came on that I think it's unfair to kind of analyze his performance a whole lot, because what do you expect the guy to do? Score 4 goals in the last 15 minutes? And
I think they said on the TV that it was probably done just to give the players coming off a rest rather than trying to get back from the game.
There's an element of fitness to it as well. You know, having Lacazette, who hasn't been playing full 90-minute matches, you got to keep the guys match fit by giving them some minutes when you can. Honestly, at the 65th minute, I really did notice that Liverpool just sat back. They stopped pressing. They let us have the ball. We're passing it sideways. And they were happy enough just to launch a few counter-attacks, save their energy. And it's a smart thing to do because they've got a busy period coming up. They've got a title to think about. So they need to start thinking about conserving energy and keeping players fresh. So, but from that point on, to me, the game was pretty over, pretty dead.
We showed a bit of intent, to be fair. We kept on playing second half, in all fairness to us. We had moments, but we couldn't capitalise on anything. Henderson shoots wide. My note here is our defence has given up. Midfield looked as if it has as well, to be fair.
I give up taking notes, just like our defence give up playing.
Then you get an Ozil save from Salah. And then the icing on the cake, Socrates picks up a yellow card for dissent. And you just think, then the game ends. And you just think, what a shower of shit. It was just a painful day at the office, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but we're still 6 points ahead of Man United in 5th place. Spurs lost the Spurs. All of their players have been given knighthoods because they're all so good. We're only 4 points behind Man City, who are dropping like a stone. We've spent bugger all, and we've lost 3 games all season. Is it 3 or 4? I don't know if this thing's updated.
4 now.
Yeah, and we've only lost 4 games all season. Man City have spent £500 million in the last couple of years, and they've lost 3 games. And so it's not all bad. We never expected to come in the first or second. We know it's probably going to be a 2-horse race between Liverpool and Man City. Man City is going to go out and spend an absolute fortune in the January transfer window, go and get some dodgy sponsorship deal with someone we never heard of for a couple of billion, and they go, now we can go and spend that on wages and players. So we never were going to beat them. And Liverpool haven't lost a game all season. They've played everybody once, and they've played us twice. And they haven't lost a game all season. They've conceded 8 goals in 20 games. I mean, the fact that we scored a goal against them is a bit of a miracle. If any Arsenal fan honestly thought we were going to go there and beat them today, but that doesn't make
There is one.
Who was it?
Somebody put in the box on Boxing Day, we will go to Liverpool and beat them in our WhatsApp group.
Oh, well, they've been on the sherry again, have they? So that's Chris ruled out.
No, they hadn't been on the sherry. It was Chris.
Oh,
Good to say. He'll conveniently deny that he said that, though. You know what he's like.
Well, I mean,
guys, no, you can't. Look, let's get back to this now. Let's not. I don't care about other teams. Okay, I just care about the Arsenal. Okay, and the one thing you looked at today, okay, and you saw that Liverpool were more mobile with us. Their movement was better off the ball, better athleticism. And to be honest, better hunger. Yes, Klopp's been there for a couple of seasons, so they play to exactly the way he wants them to. But I mean, we looked way off the pace, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. But you look how Liverpool were after 6 months of Klopp taking over. They weren't doing any brilliant. This time last season, they weren't fantastic. It's all going to take time. I'm not annoyed with anything other than the unprofessionalness and the sloppiness of the defence. Other than that, I haven't got much to moan about. We could look at the positives. Iwobi was good. Maitland-Niles scored a great goal. The wing play from those two might save us £20-30 million if those two can keep playing there, because they're both quick as hell and they've both got a goal in them. They've got an assist in them. I mean, one amazing stat that I heard after the game: in the first half, Aubameyang touched the ball 7 times. 4 of those were from kickoffs.
Look, I've got to be honest here. I think
cry.
You people keep on comparing us to Klopp's Liverpool since he got there. I think they've been in Champions League every year since they've got there. Okay, so that's kind of that's where we need to be. We need to be in Champions League because we need that money for players, etc. Okay,
but we'll finish top 5.
Top 5 doesn't get us anywhere, mate.
Yeah, no. Top 4 gets us a Champions League playoff. pre-qualified, doesn't it?
No, it's top four, mate. Top four only, okay?
Either
Either Europa League or top four, okay? Now, Dom, come back to you. You've mentioned it already, okay? Tactically today we were undone. But this is endemic of what has been happening recently. The games from Huddersfield onwards, we've been rubbish. Let's make no mistake, okay? We have been rubbish. Our performances have been poor, okay? We play Huddersfield. We see a tactical setup from them where they're going to try to outmuscle us. We know that's what we're going to get against Burnley. Yet we don't change tactics. We're not getting the best out of our front players, okay? And the defense hasn't improved at all, right? Now, there's been no clear sign of improvement in performance at all this season, other than the Tottenham game at home, the Liverpool game at home, and Leicester City for 60 minutes. Emery now has to take responsibility for this, doesn't he? He has to find a way of solving these issues.
Yes. Short answer. I think I'm not on any kind of I don't like Emery bandwagon at all. I'm very well aware that this is a slow process, that it's going to take him 2 to 3 transfer windows and a couple of seasons to get to a position where he feels that he's really had the time and got the players in and out that he needs. However, I still think it's really dangerous to try to dismiss any fault through him and sort of direct it solely at the players, because at the end of the day, what I've seen at the moment that's really confusing is that it seems like he's trying to solidify the team from conceding goals by having, a midfield 3 of Guendouzi, Torreira and Xhaka in a game. And all it's doing is curtailing any kind of offensive threat that we have, because he's so negative in that midfield area. There's no, if you look at the team, if you take out Aaron Ramsey, let's just say Aaron Ramsey leaves in January. Tell me some dynamic players that we have on the pitch today. Maitland-Niles is really the only player that I could look at today and say he's a dynamic, or a Iwobi as well. They're the only two that I feel like are dynamic players, and you need them in midfield. You need that kind of buzz and energy in the midfield area. And my issue is that he's just so obsessed with having this midfield 2 or 3 that, to me, I see as limited physically and kind of, offensively.
If they're not defending, then they're not doing their job.
Well, the thing is, last week, all the team had to do was just chip long balls over the top. And they were running onto long balls, completely bypassing any midfield that we had anyway. And that's the issue for me. Obviously, we need better defenders to handle that. A better defensive trio or whatever you have, partnership back there, is going to handle the long balls a little bit better. But in terms of the midfield, if you don't have dynamic players in there that can move about like Liverpool had today, you really are kind of hamstringing yourself. And I feel like it's that old saying, cutting your nose to spite your face. Trying so hard to plug defensive issues by clogging up midfield and thinking that's going to do something. And yet all it's doing is stopping us from being able to get any kind of offensive threat against a team. So that's the part, the balance of the team that really is worrying me at the moment. Is this just a stopgap? Is he just doing this because Bayern's injured, Monreal's out, and the defensive issues are so bad, or that we don't have the wingers that he wants that maybe he's got an eye on? I don't know. But at the moment, whatever it is that he's trying to do is sure as shit isn't working.
This is the thing, okay? You're looking at it. He hasn't got the best out of our attacking play so far. Yet he hasn't got the best of our defensive play. So I'm struggling to see what's going on, okay?
It's just a matter of getting everything all to click at the same time. We need to get all the defence, the midfield, and the attackers. Okay, look at the Fulham game. The attackers and midfield were brilliant. We've had other games where the defence has been brilliant. We've had other games where Leno has been absolutely magnificent. Just trying to get all 4 departments to click at the same time. When they do, we'll be good. It doesn't show any signs of that happening anytime soon.
Dan, look, this is the problem. You start by building blocks, okay? Whether you start at the top or at the back, I don't really care, okay? But we the 22-game unbeaten run was great, Okay, and I've given sort of Emery full credit for that. Okay, but we flattered to deceive all too often, I know, and we have flattered to deceive. Okay, some of the comments I'm seeing in here in the chat box, I really get. I get what you're saying. Some of them I think are utterly, nonsense. Okay, I mean, I got to be honest. Some of the crap I see, I just think, what sport are people watching? Okay, but you have to. Okay, yes, Emery needs the season, and let's be honest. Okay, if Ivan, who wanted to get Mikel Arteta in as manager, if this was Mikel Arteta, sorry, I've got to say this. Who's there? Who is there? Loki73 says, I wish my girlfriend was as wide open as our defence. Brilliant.
Shocking, Bill.
Sorry. But, you have to start somewhere. And I mean, we brought in Lichtsteiner and Socrates in the summer. Okay? We've let Chambers go out on loan, even though we know we got Koscielny on an injury list where we don't know, it's halfway through the season before we're going to get him back. Okay, you're relying on Rob Holding and Mavropanos. Mavropanos has been injured. We've left ourselves short. We say our squad is paper thin, okay? But we're making decisions, allowing players to leave when we've got a wafer thin squad. So let's blame somebody like some Arsene Wenger or anybody else. We've put ourselves in this position. Okay, when Emery plays the three-man midfield of Torreira, Guendouzi, and Xhaka, we've got no go forward. Yet he's happy to do it. Okay, as much as you've got to credit Emery with that 22-game unbeaten run. You've got to call crap when there's a loss to Southampton, a poor Southampton side. When there's this today, okay, you've got to call it as you see it. And I don't want him out. You've got to give him at least the season. You've got to, okay? But you have to be seeing an improvement in performance throughout it. And the business of, okay, whether you see, the business of Ozil and Ramsey, whether, we're hearing at the moment, Ozil's going to be going. He's going to be leaving the club. That's what we're hearing. Okay, we're not hearing it from one person. We're hearing that from a lot of different sources. Okay, then you're leaving Ramsey going a free. I know. So if you're leaving, I've seen where's the comment in here. Here we go. Where is it? So Rudy Rastlos. Here we go. Rambo is long enough at the club. He had half a season where he was very good. Can't see why we should pay over the odds to keep him. What a load of bollocks. He's our highest scoring central midfielder of all time. He's won you 2 FA Cups, okay? Right? He keeps on performing in big games and scoring in big games. But we're hardly using him because we got a contract situation. Fine, okay. But now we're not even using Ozil. So where are we exactly going with this? And if we're losing Ozil and Ramsey in one window, okay, and you're losing Ramsey for nothing, and by the way, he's good enough for Juventus,
and PSG.
He's not good enough, and PSG, and whatever. Oh, shut up, Rudy, you're talking shit, okay? I'm sorry, not put up with that nonsense.
There's
the 2 FA Cups.
Let's rewrite history for the sake of an argument, shall we? Look, this is the thing. We can see if you've got the opinion that Ramsey's no good, that's fine. But basically, the consensus of actual professionals, very, very high paid people in very high up positions like PSG and Juventus that are winning things have decided that he is good enough. So if you're happy to sit there and have your opinion that he's no good, whilst that's going on in the background, that's fine. But I'm going to judge you for it.
Absolutely. But this is the thing, okay? So if you're losing Ozil and Ramsey, okay, that's not good. That is not good. Okay, and then people are talking, we're going to sign Koulibaly. We can't effing afford Aaron Ramsey. So where the hell are we going to sign Koulibaly from? I don't get how people think here. I don't get what
the big concern for me, Jason, Chatbox has touched on this a little bit, is if Ramsey was to go, this chatter about Banega. that epitomizes my concerns in terms of where the team's going, because we'll have yet another slow, sideways passing midfielder that's not dynamic, that's not going to burst through midfield and launch a counter attack and dribble with the ball at feed. And this is what, like, Xhaka and Torreira aren't those players.
But
you know, when they've played well together, they control that area of the pitch and they move well. And Torreira is getting in good defensive positions and intercepting and things. But where's the dynamic midfielders going forward? You can't just rely on wing backs to do that for you. So if you take out Ozil, you take out Ramsey, whether you like them or not, they are dynamic midfielders.
Well, this is the thing, okay? If you're bringing Ivan Banega in, he's over 30 years of age. His best years are gone, okay? He's hardly set the world alight the last couple of seasons, okay? Where the hell, you know, who are we bringing in, okay? Or, you know, Sven's going to bring in another gem or something like that, somebody's going to say. Well, you know, are Sven, Unai and Raul going to work as a team? Because at the moment, you know, okay, so somebody mentioned in there, if we get rid of Ozil, we free up wages. Fine, okay, we free up wages. But the marketplace is only going up, okay? People are demanding higher and higher wages. And if you're losing Ramsey, you're losing Ozil, okay? No matter how much wage space we free up, players coming know we're desperate for someone, okay? They know we're desperate for someone. So you know, all of a sudden, they're going to demand higher wages. The wage issue is not going to go away. Okay? It's not going to go away. Right? It doesn't matter how we look at this, okay? We're at a crossroads at this club, and I don't see at the moment what the plan is. And you know, it's a worrying time. Dan, I mean, what do you think on all this?
If you look at our formation that we play at the moment, and then or previous Wenger formations, if you put a little circle around the Bergkamp position, now whether that be a number 10 who plays behind the main striker, whether it be an Ozil who plays a little bit further back, whether it be a Ramsey who runs into that circle, anybody in that circle isn't welcome at Arsenal. It's just it's not a coincidence that two players at Arsenal that do that job inside that circle, so we don't have to give them because we all know Ramsey isn't a 10, is he, Jace? So everyone who plays in that circle at the moment, it's Ozil and Ramsey. They're not getting a chance. They're not playing in the team. They've played lots of games this season, but they're the two that he doesn't seem to want. And now I've just been looking at that Banega bloke. He's 30. He's got 65 caps for Argentina. He's got 6 goals. John said he's not that good when he was at Inter. No one's any good at Inter because Inter have been shit for years. But he's more of a central midfield role. And then he's going to be a little bit going forward and scoring goals, a little bit going back and defending. But we're never going to get the player. I think Emery's plan is to have people going wide, is to have someone up front, have 2 players either side of them, and then have a midfield 3, which is why Guendouzi's been playing, because no one's really sure what Guendouzi's best position is yet, is it? But we know it's not going to be a defensive midfielder. It's somewhere a little bit further back than Ramsey, but not as further forward as Ozil. So that's the kind of player that I think he wants. But he wants someone of a little bit more experience who doesn't have long hair. So I think that's why he's rumoured. Who knows if we're looking at this?
Guendouzi can be a dynamic kind of kid, but he's 19 years old. And this is the thing: you need. Yeah, if you have Torreira and Xhaka sitting there, that's fine. But if you have a third midfielder that's limited, that can't dribble and run off with the ball and break away from people and spin them, it's kind of pointless because you're just going to get pressed. Because the opposition know, well, all they can do is pass to a static person. There's no one that's going to be able to run off with the ball and open up a space and a little shimmy here or there. Torreira, as much as I love the guy and I have him as our first midfielder on the team sheet right now, he's not that player. And Xhaka's not that player either. I think you need that dynamic person in midfield that can do a bit of everything. And at the moment, El Neni is not that player. And I can tell you right now that Banega's not that player. And if you take away the Ramsey and Ozil situation, I think Danny makes a really good point about that number 10 role and that little circle in the pitch. We don't really have anyone occupying that space.
Absolutely, but this is the thing, okay? So now we're looking at, okay, so we got to buy wingers, right? Nicolas Pepe, we've offered 38 million quid for him. Lille want 80 million, okay? And damn right he's going to want a massive pay increase to come to us, okay? Because obviously we need width, okay? Now, whether this guy's good enough or not, it doesn't really matter, Okay, it doesn't really matter if he's good enough or not. Every player coming in is going to want to hike on their wages, right? Because they know we're desperate, right? At the moment in our midfield, with our midfielders, okay, we've got absolutely zero go forward. You know, you look at Xhaka today. Xhaka gets a hard time a lot of the time, and he wasn't our worst player on the pitch today. There were some stupid moments from him, but mobility is not his strength. And to play the type of game that Emery wants to play, we need a bit of mobility.
We need someone like someone's been putting in the chat box. The ideal player to play is someone who can play in the centre of the park and go forward and set stuff up and score goals. Santi Cazorla, that is the model player that we're looking at.
Yeah, but sorry. Danny, saying you miss Santi Cazorla is like saying we miss Thierry Henry. He hasn't played for us for so long.
And we haven't got one. And
but there is none. They don't exist.
And if there was one, we sure as hell wouldn't be at Rafford and he'd be off to Man City.
Exactly, Danny. This is the thing. Those players are so rare. It made me, when I watch Aubameyang this season so far, it makes me realise just how good Van Persie was for us. I know that's a bit of a sin to say that, but they are so rare to find those types of absolute world-class players, like when Sanchez was on his game, when Van Persie did that for us for 18 months, when Fabregas was on his game. The reality is there's not very many of them in world football. So just saying we need to replace Santi Cazorla is like saying, well, why not just go out and find another Thierry Henry or a Patrick Vieira? He was a unique talent that it's not like... You don't think that they would have? You don't think that if there was about 400 of these Santi Cazorla players running around, we wouldn't snap one up by now?
We've got so many, we're giving them away.
Yeah, but let's be honest, boys. We never replaced Vieira. We never replaced Gilberto Silva. I don't care. We got what we got, don't we? We got what we got, and it's the manager's job to make the best out of what's available. Now, whether whether we love Ozil or don't like Ozil, whether we love Ramsey or we hate Ramsey, it doesn't really matter. They are what we've got. Okay, they're what we've got, and they are the players who have created more goals and been involved in more goals than anybody outside the strikers. We're not getting the best of Aubameyang. When Lacazette, I think, has been great, but all of a sudden he's been benched or taken off. Okay, it will be a little hot streak off the boil. Okay, Mkhitaryan flattered to deceive. So what exactly is going on? Because we're not getting the best out of what we've got. So what's the point in buying other players? Because we can't get the best of what we got.
I'll give you the perfect example of the issue. Well, not the issue, but a common thing that I see that maybe is part and parcel of what you're talking about, Jace, in the chat box. Renee, I will accept losing both Ozil and Ramsey if the club can pull its finger out and sign Isco. It ain't going to happen, mate. That's what we're talking about. It's not as simple as going, well, we can just use Ozil's wages and Ramsey's wages to spend on X player or Y player. Isco's going to turn around to us. So this is how the conversation will go. Hey, Isco, you want to go play for Arsenal? No, thanks. I'm fine at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Then what?
He'd rather be at a club that are in a disaster at the moment. They don't have the manager and the league with everything else. He'd rather be there.
So that's the danger of losing someone like Ramsey and letting him go for free is a Juventus and a PSG he's good enough for, but apparently he's not, for whatever reason, good enough for us. It's not that. It's that his contract situation's kind of forcing Emery's hand. I don't have an issue with what Emery's doing. If Ramsey's not going to sign, he's not going to be there, then sure, let's try and move on without the guy. That's fine. But to think that you can go out and replace him with a Banega, or that you can just, we'll just spend Ramsey's wages somewhere else and get someone equal or better, it ain't going to happen.
But this is the thing, okay? And look, people talk about Koulibaly coming in, I know.
Again, that ain't going to happen.
But it's that side of it of, okay, so if we go in for Koulibaly, so will a Man City or a Chelsea or a United, who will all offer him a wage packet which is far higher than we would pay, right? So all of a sudden, we do not set the wage market. That is set by a host of other clubs. Do you know what I mean? And then we have to get involved in that. So all this talk of, we'll go out and get this, we'll go out and get that, it ain't happening anytime soon. It ain't happening, okay?
Well, if we go back to Jace, if you go back to the Liverpool analogy that everyone loves comparing so much, once they were out the Champions League and they started this rebuilding process, they weren't signing the Van Dijks back then. It took Coutinho to go for £100+ million, and then for them to have Champions League football, to get the Allisons and the Van Dijks and these types of players. That is the most difficult part for us right now, is that the reality is what we're shopping for, we will not get world-class finished article players. They are too expensive now in the market. We're going to have to hope that Emery and Sven can go out and find some gems and get them all clicking and get them playing together, which is why it's really dangerous to not look at Emery and criticize or critique what he's doing.
And again,
he's going to be so important for the next 24 months or so to see if he can piece it all together and get people playing a certain way to get into the top 4, to then get the status, to then get the world-class players. That's just the steps that we're going to have to go through, because we don't have Man City, Chelsea money.
But this is the thing, okay? It's a standard man for 50s put in here. We've spent a lot of time putting together a backroom team. We have to trust that Sven and Raul will find someone, maybe someone we ain't heard of, but we have to trust them for now. Now, okay, my concerns. It's Sven and Raul buying the players, yet Unai's the manager. Okay? You had the Sven and Tuchel business at Dortmund, where they fell out massively and ended up in Tuchel leaving because Sven wouldn't do what basically Tuchel wanted. Okay? That's simplifying it, but it's a lot deeper than that. But, he's got form on falling out with managers. You've got Raul, who's used to operating out of Barcelona. Well, Arsenal versus Barcelona is a very different situation. You've got, there's obviously a power vacuum since Ivan's left. So you've got 3 characters in there. They're all ambitious people. There's going to be a little bit of to-in and fro-in in there. Yeah? Because that's what ambitious people do. There's going to be, I don't think this is going to go as smoothly as people think. So you're looking at this and you're just thinking, hell, it's not just new players we need a backroom staff to click. Now, hopefully they're all professional enough to make that happen. Okay. And these things have to all fall into place. They have to fall into place for us to be successful. So, you've got to look at it and you just got to think, oh God, we need a lot of dominoes to fall the right way for us to go forward. I mean, Dan, you look at it at the moment, there's all sorts of people saying we need X amount of players, we need this, we need that, okay? But I mean, if you're looking at this honestly, who are the first 3 players, what are the first 3 players you'd bring in?
I'm no good with I do like the idea of Kubalai. I think he's really good. He's 27, peak of his
career. Not so much individuals, mate, but positionally wise.
It's gonna have to be I think left back, Monreal. It looks like he's done. I mean, I'm no expert, Dom is, but when a player is constantly getting, he had his best season for us last season. Some would say he was a player of the season for us. 6 goals, fantastic, and that's been a massive dent in this season and Emery's plans. And for him to be constantly injured this season, I've said it a few times, we've had 6 different people play at left back or left wing back. That can't continue. We need a number 1 left back, but the number 1 priority has got to be centre back. You've got to get someone who is good. But like we're saying, even if we did have the money, we were going, right, we're going to go out and buy a player. First of all, we're going to get mugged off because we've got that Premiership money. And then, like in the Mata deal, when we were going to buy him from that Spanish club, we agreed a deal, and then Chelsea went, oh, we'll give you more money. There were too many clubs, Chelsea, Man United, Man City, Liverpool, can just come in and go, well, Arsenal are giving you this, we'll give you more money. You want X amount of money, wages, we'll give you more money. And that, even, I remember back in the day, like Ashley Young at Man United, Arsenal fan, it was out in the media saying, I'm an Arsenal fan, I'd like to go and play for Arsenal. Sean Wright-Phillips, another one, Arsenal fan, wanted to play for Arsenal, but then other clubs come in with a load more money and they go, well, money speaks, doesn't it? So in that way, we're never, ever going to win. We're never going to get the top players, which is why I think that year 1, it was Ozil, year 2, it was Sanchez, year 3, it was Cech, because people realised all the money was elsewhere, that you're not going to get the big money coming to Arsenal. And so many players are going to do that, and we're never going to beat that. So my first choice for centre-back, next choice is going to be left-back, and then maybe try and get a winger. Try and get him. I'm going to go with Iwobi and Maitland-Niles and give them long runs with a bit of Mkhitaryan until he leaves in the summer. But we do, and maybe Aubameyang, start playing Aubameyang out wide again, because he's unless he's not getting the service from anywhere. Lacazette is more creative as a goal scorer, and with Aubameyang on the wing or playing as an outside forward, Lacazette's going to get more chances with more stuff. But there's just so many places to do it all. But I'm not annoyed with anything. We lost. I don't mind. I'd rather we didn't lose. I'm not angry at Wenger. Bloody hell, I'm so used to saying that. I'm not angry at Emery, the owners, the board, anything. But I want to see this January. I want to see us go out there and get some players. And if someone like Cahill is, unfortunately, it's not going to be Timmy Cahill, because that would be an absolute wonder star if we did. If we got him
in the golden boot.
That's it. We're going to get someone like Cahill, who isn't the answer to our problems, but he is going to steady the ship. He's played for England no end of times, and he's going to come in there, and he's a quality Premier League player who's won the Premier League, who's going to be playing. So it'd be like Mustafi won't be playing because we'll be playing him, and maybe Koscielny will play more often. But
the big disappointment for me in terms of.
Sorry, guys. Joe Vader to ask the question: any truth in Cahill coming on a loan deal, and do we want him? To me, from what we've heard, yes, he is coming in. Okay. I think, look, okay, he may be past his prime, okay, but I see an awful lot of Arsenal fans slagging him down. But the guy, the guy has got an impressive resume and titles in the cabinet, okay, and I'll happily take him because he's an upgrade on what we've got. We need mobility at the back, okay, and a little bit of experience. And if it's a 6-month deal, it will help us sort of shore up the defense. What do you think, Dom?
Yeah, I've got no issues with it. This is the thing, I guess. You got to think of it like this. You don't want to get forced into panic buying a centre back that's not the person you want, because how many of them are available in January? A lot of clubs aren't going to sell you a player that you want in January. So do we go out and panic and find somebody that's willing to move that might not be the person you want? Then they're stuck on a long contract with some wages just because of this a 6-month period. Or do you go and do what the club are talking about doing and get Gary Cahill in to steady the ship, like you said, to add an extra body, some experience, to get you through to the end of the season, where when you decide to go and buy a proper centre-back for your team, your options are not so limited. I think it's a smart thing to do. I think it's the long game as well. I don't think it's a short-term solution like people are thinking. I think it's actually with a vision in terms of the long game. The big disappointment's obviously the Rob Holding injury, because he looked like someone that was really going to develop slowly but surely throughout the season, and could have been someone that we could have built a defence around, because like people are rightly saying, Socrates is on the way out in terms of his career, and Monreal's on the way out, and Koscielny's clearly on the way out. That Mustafi's that middle-aged 25, 26-year-old centre-back. Other than that, there's not a whole lot there with any kind of youth that you can really look to long term. So the Rob Holding injury, I think, is a really huge impact. He's playing quite well. But anyway, I think it's a good move, Jace. Sure.
I agree. I've got to be honest with you.
Dan, go on. He's signed for Chelsea partway through the 11-12 season. This season, he's only played one Premier League game. So you get the 6 seasons in between. He averages 43 games a season for Chelsea. He turned 33 earlier this month, and he's got 65 caps for England. But the only thing that worries me, and I'll do a Google of his name, or when I do a Yahoo of his name, it says the Daily Telegraph have got Aston Villa pull out a potential move for Gary Cahill. You think Daily Express, Aston Villa pull out? Are we fighting Aston Villa for centre backs at the moment?
But that would be a signing and wages and things and all sorts of stuff that they probably can't justify giving a 5 or 4 year contract to a guy that's 33. There's a lot of other things in terms of the quality's not really the issue. It's just, I look at it and think that it's a perfect match for us, to be honest.
And you're talking permanent move as opposed to a loan deal where we are just shoring up our options for, we're shoring up the defence to give us options in the summer. And that's what we've got to do at the moment.
Or you go out and buy your 3rd, 4th, 5th choice centre-back because all the other ones the clubs won't sell in January. That's the reality of what they're trying to do. And I think when you look at the Gary Cahill potential loan as a one-off, you need to sort of factor in that as well. That the club are obviously got their eyes on some players they want to buy, but might not be available in January.
Absolutely. Dan, Blair Slater asks, honest question, he says, would Jenks not be better than Lichtsteiner?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the modern day Ibue. He's the kind of player that everyone, the moment he does anything wrong, people are going to be on his back. And I'm not sure. I don't think he's a confidence player. I think he's just a player who'll go out and he'll do the job. And he's played right the few times that he's played this season. In previous seasons, he's played right. He's played 60 odd, nearly 70 games for Arsenal. You've got to be looking at the way Lichtsteiner is playing at the moment and thinking, no, you're really not doing it. You're what's he on, 90 grand a week? I know I don't give a fuck about wages. The club get no money from me at all. They don't even get money from me via Sky Sports or anything like that anymore. So I shouldn't have any moan about it, but I do. But Lichtsteiner isn't worth the money that he's on. You've got to, if you have a player who's playing and constantly fucking up, like the ball going over his head against whoever we played at the weekend, I can't remember, where he stood there and the ball went right over his head and it ended 1-1. Brighton. And tonight he's been rubbish. He's slow. I think he relies on his aggression when he can't keep up the pace of the game. I mean, he is 35, 36. So why not give Jenkinson a go? At least Jenkinson is an Arsenal fan and he'll get stuck in. And I know that sometimes people make too much of the fact that someone's an Arsenal fan, but for me, I think that gives you that little edge that it means more to you. Not that it means any less if you're not an Arsenal fan, but I think it will mean more if he is. And he's a good player. I mean, he's only, 27? He's fully fit.
Yeah.
He had some games this season. Why not go and give him a go? I've got a question for you, Jason, Don, before we move on to the next one. Just quickly, do you think we'd be in the position we are now with this defensive calamity if Emery had the choice of all of our players, if we hadn't had this unprecedented run of injuries?
I don't think it would be as bad, but I don't think it would be as great as people think.
Mm.
Look, there's a question coming up about that in a second. Okay, sorry. Look, he still hasn't worked at his best team, and there's a question coming up. I don't want to go too far into that at the moment, actually, but it's down to the manager. There's a question for you, Dom. Now, okay. Paul Alves asks: Has Emery actually had time to coach the defence? Go. Actually, before you answer that, I do apologise, guys. There's 270 of you still watching this. I've only got 86 likes. Okay. What do you think you're doing with your lives? Who do you think you are today? Socrates giving away a penalty? Or Kolasinac giving away a penalty? Yeah. Your performance is as bad as the Arsenal's today. Give me 130 likes, toot sweet, please. Tappy, let's get going. I got to put up with doing this after watching crap like that. And now you guys aren't even bothering to give me my likes. Get on with it. No. Thank you ever so much.
Eating sausages and shouting at my cats. That's not it.
Yeah, this is top quality car crash podcasting. Dom, yeah.
We're all professionals here. We're all very well paid, aren't we, Danny?
Certainly are. I'll pay you in sausages.
Yeah. Has Emery actually had time to coach the defence? He's only been here 6 months.
All right. This is a hard question to answer simply, but for me, defending is a team thing. It's not about just shoving 4 guys back there and saying, right, don't let any goals in. The ease at which teams are going right through our midfield time and time again, or long balls over the top, or it doesn't seem to matter. We don't look sound and solid as a whole team. I don't see us pressing. I don't know what it is that we're doing off the ball. And when you talk about defending, for me, it's not about from the halfway line to the opposite or to our goal. It's the whole structure, the whole unit, the whole team. And if Ozil keeps getting dropped because he's not part of that, that's fair enough. But I don't actually understand what the rest of the team's doing either. So maybe Ozil's just as confused as I am. But to me, are we going to press? Are we not going to press? Is that something that we're trying to work on slowly but surely? Does that take more than 6 months to get right? I don't know. But I would like to think that 6 months down the line, I would start to not be so confused. What do you think?
Yeah, look, 6 months is enough time to get some improvement, okay? Yes, injuries have been a factor in it. But some of the goals we let in the season are an absolute joke, okay? And surely there are simple systems you can do in training, which gives you better coverage awareness, and the work with the midfield needs to be better. Xhaka looks lost at times. Torreira has come off the boil recently. I know he's had a nasty cold and what have you. but it's almost as if we're still disjointed between midfield and defence, and he needs to work on that. But if you're going to keep on chopping and changing, the tactical side of the team, the setup, etc. And yes, injuries have impacted on it. You've got to be fair to the man as well. But you need to have a fallback situation where people understand their jobs and understand what to do at certain given points. I think the big thing for me is, and John Welsh has mentioned this an awful lot this season, is when we defend at set piece, if you've got Hector Bellerin marking the opposition's most dangerous guy at a corner, that says to me, we haven't really worked in it. So, this is Emery's team now, whether you like it or not, okay? He needs to take responsibility for it, and he needs to start working on it toot sweet. And it's as simple as that. Yeah, Arian Hidari's right. There's 250 of you watching right now. I've only got 108 likes. Absolute bloody disgrace.
You had to tell them twice.
Sorry?
You had to tell them twice.
Twice, Dan. Twice.
But
Okay?
didn't they listen the first time?
Dan, they're sending my effing blood pressure through the roof. Okay, this is like watching Kolasinac push over bloody, what's that dickhead's name? Oh, Lovren. I'm watching him flounder about like a fish. It's pathetic. They come in here, they love the free content. Oh yeah, we all love the free content, don't we?
When we get the 1 million views, 14,000 away, they'll be tappy then for the free to sign Santi t-shirt, won't they? Fuckers.
Hey Dan, I'll be deciding who gets that. And if I got 130 likes now, okay, we won't give it away till 1.5 million.
Burn it.
No, I'll get it. We'll rig it.
Oh, no. Let's burn it and then send it to Chris. I'll break his heart. It'd be brilliant. Here we go. Question for both of you. Okay, and then we're going to bugger off then. We've been on here for long enough tonight. Cars and Coffee Stories asks,
we've got a very good
how come...
channel.
Sorry?
They've got a very good YouTube channel about cars.
Sweet.
Yes,
so that's Cars and Coffee Stories. So that's on YouTube. Give them a look. Let's have a look at them. Thank you for the support. We appreciate it. How come Emery has not figured out his first 11 after 6 months? I want both your opinions on this.
First.
I'd say mainly injuries. I'll keep it short.
Go on in.
That's it, injuries.
Yeah. Injuries and stupid suspensions. Like I think Nicky Wilson has pointed out a couple of times, we've had more players suspended on yellow cards than any of the other top 5 or 6 teams, and there's a reason for that, because we'd like to do kicky rather than tappy.
This is the thing, okay? I think the biggest thing, I do think injuries have impacted on it. I really do. But I think as well, he's gone to a back 3, he's gone to a back 4. Yes, injuries have had an impact on that. But it didn't look like he'd settled on anything before the injuries had kicked in either. Do you know what I mean? So,
and then you've got the contract situation with Ramsey, and then Ozil doing Ozil things, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And that's there's the squad, the harmony of the squad, hasn't it?
Yeah, and early on the season, I remember after sort of like 10 games unbeaten. Oh, we've never, there are lots of people looking for retweets with, oh, this squad has never been more together, etc., etc. It's football. These are football teams. These are human beings. It's never going to be perfect. This is a bunch of guys who've always actually got on, okay? But now Emery's got a massive challenge in coming in to replace somebody like Arsene Wenger, who's been there for 20-odd years. It's a huge challenge for the man, and he's got to work out a way for doing it. He's not exactly the bad guy in all this, but he has to work out how to get the best out of the players he's got. And, whether you want to prepare for the future or not, we need to qualify for Champions League football this season. So ultimately, he needs to play our best players now, in my opinion. I don't kind of know what's going on in the background there. And obviously, the business of Ozil is concerning, regardless of whether, he annoys the hell out of me or not. He is the star man in this team. apparently. And, we've not got the best of him all season, apart from 1 or 2 games. And that's a bit sad. But, it's in the same way Emery gets the credit for the 22 unbeaten. He's got to carry the can for the Southampton defeat, for this defeat. It's the way it works. But
I think that run of 23 games gave us a false feeling of superiority, because you look back at it, it doesn't say scrape to win here, scrape to draw there, fluke to win there. So I think if we wouldn't have had such a good run, people wouldn't have been so harsh on him now, which is why I'm not angry, because I can see that run. A lot of it was that's that saying, papering over the cracks, and we flew some we were brilliant. But out of that run of 23 games, how many did we play where we were absolutely fantastic? Leicester, Spurs second half, and Fulham, but Fulham are shit, and maybe a couple of others here and there.
The Liverpool game at home, we were very good. I thought we were very, very good that game.
That's too long ago. I've forgotten.
But it's one of those, isn't it? All right, guys, we've been going for 100 minutes. That's it. I've still only got 117 likes. You're all a shower of shit.
You should all be playing in our midfield, our defence.
Thanks for listening. You're all shit.
It's an absolute embarrassment. Chat box today. You're embarrassing yourselves. You're embarrassing your families. You're embarrassing your grandparents. Your parents right now are blushing with shame. With shame. Only 119 likes.
Kyle is back in the chat box. Hi, Kyle.
Hey, Kyle. How's it going, pal? Okay.
I put that tree up just for this show, Jace. This tree, I'm taking it out in the garden and I'm going to burn it after this show. I'm disgusted.
We're going to take some of the chat box out and burn them on it as well. They carry on behaving in this manner. It's utter embarrassment, it is. I'm not happy.
Down now.
Brilliant. To the chat box. Some of you are idiots and some of you are brilliant, but we love you all. Thank you ever so much for your contribution today. You've been superb. Thank you very, very much. It's been a tough day at the office, but onwards and upwards. Danny, or Brosnan, as I'm going to call you from now on, thank you for turning up, pal. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much. And sorry about shouting at my cat. He's come back in now. He's all okay. We've got a bad cat around here.
Don't worry. I thought the most embarrassing part was, I didn't see that. I wasn't watching. I was talking to Sean.
No.
At the beginning of the show.
Women are like, Sean, I'm doing stuff. She keeps bringing stuff out of everybody. What do I do with this? I don't know. Stick out your ass. I don't know. Stop talking to me. That's how I should have.
I love this.
I took notice of what she said because I'm a caring father.
Oh, mate, you're world class. I love doing this with you guys. Dom, thank you ever so much, pal. Much appreciated. No
problems at all, Jace. Always a pleasure.
That's the last show of 2019. A massive thank you to everybody who's been in the chat box all year. We really, really do appreciate it. You've been phenomenal, and we're eternally grateful for your support. Thank you so much to all of those of you listening on iTunes or Stitcher, or whatever the format it is. Your support's been epic as well. Thank you ever so much. On behalf of all the guys at ABW, we can't thank you enough for your support over this year, and we look forward to next season as well, and hopefully we can give you next year. We can give you some good content then as well. On the next live show, will be on New Year's Day. It's going to be myself and the boy wonder John Welsh. It's just us two, because everybody else is off enjoying themselves. Loki, that's my pleasure, pal. My pleasure, buddy. I hope you all have a fantastic New Year's Eve. I hope 2019 is an absolute cracker for all of you. And let's hope we see an uplifting performance from the Arsenal. It's not the end of the world, okay? Nobody's a bad guy in that squad, or the manager's not a bad guy. It's just the way it's gone the last couple of weeks. But Happy New Year, guys. Thank you ever so much for your support. Have a brilliant 2019 from Everyday BW. Danny, switch this shit off. Da 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 da. Tonight on Blind Date, you not switched it off, you gits.
No, that's make you make a fool of yourself.
Oh, well, there's nothing new there, is there? Carpenter out. Christmas Day. Christmas Day when he tweeted from all the Pirates, happy Christmas. Had to go in with Carpenter out. I think he appreciated that.